Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Diablo 3. My name is Wilfred. So in this video, I'd like to share with you a guide on completing the set dungeon for the Rathma set, Season 23 and beyond. And it's very easy, easier than say the Inarius as well. So for this particular video, there will be two parts to it. Part 1 is talk about the gear and the ability I'm using. And part 2 is the actual run to the dungeon itself. So you could jump to the part 2 if you wish to. I'll put a time code below as well. Now, first thing first, of course, you dismiss your follower. That's the first thing that a lot of people do for the set dungeon. I don't think it's really matter for this set dungeon, but I just do it on the safe side. Now, the good news for you is that to do the Rathma set, you don't need to change any setup if you are just going for your endgame build or whatever it is, because the objective is to achieve a certain amount of cooldown reduction, which is 500 seconds for Army of the Dead, which is very easy if you get the right gear. And the second one is to revive I think a couple hundred corpse using the revive power, which you do it anyway. Just you kill off stuff and keep reviving. Okay, now of course the trick is not to trigger Army of the Dead too often onto the mobs and do it after you achieve the objective 1 and 2, and then you use your full set of ability to complete the set dungeon. Okay, now from a power perspective, it's very straightforward. There are different variants when it comes to Rathma build. So let's take a look at the Rathma set as well. It's talking about every time your permanent minion deal damage, you reduce the cooldown of Army of the Dead by 0.5 seconds. Now, if you have the right gear and right setup, it's very easy to achieve that. And then after that, your minion no longer expire. Doesn't really matter for this set dungeon, but just for your information. And then also you have other things like increasing the damage of Army of the Dead, which will work against you at the initial part of the objective. That's why you usually pop it outside of the mob area to ensure that you achieve the objective 1 and 2 before you go full force on the rest of the dungeon. All right. Now, it's up to you whether you want to mix it with the Captain Crimson or not. Doesn't matter. If you do mix it with the Captain Crimson, just make sure you pop your Army of the Dead very often, as often as you can, because you need to accumulate the cooldown reduction. All right. But the good things about having the Captain Crimson is that you also achieve a cooldown reduction on the Blood Rush, which may help you going around, but it's really not mandatory. If you don't have it, that is fine too. You don't have to have this. Okay. What I think you would really require is a set of the Juseth set. Why? Because as you use the command skeleton to help killing off the trash mob, whenever the enemy dies, it will automatically go to the next mob. So you don't have to keep commanding it. Now, if you don't have this set and you still want to do a dungeon, my advice to you is to have a resource generator, be as like a bone spike or what have you, and to really click on this command skeleton very often, because when you do the command, it would increase your cooldown reduction for the Army of the Dead, which is objective number 1. So that's all it is. Do you need to get the rest of the gear, like the skirt necklace, the conversion of element, the crispin sentence? The answer is no. You don't need to do any of this. You can put any gear to that. It will just work. And from a cube wise, a lot of people ask me the complete setup. Do you need to have the curse, the Tragos fan or face vow or ring or face vow? The answer is no. You can put anything here. For jewel wise, if you use Captain Crimson, of course you need Ring of the Royal Grandeur. If you don't, that is fine too. You can put anything there. All right. So that is a good news for this set dungeon. You don't need to nerf your build. You don't need to take off gear or reset Paragon point just to complete the set dungeon. You can just do it as per normal. All right. I guess from the power perspective, I would there are a couple of variants to it. Some would want to have the poison build, which is fine if you want to play with poison build. I found that Death Valley is actually very nice because it does have a very large kind of effect to it, and it helps you to clear off the rest of the set dungeon very easily. But if you don't have it, that's fine too. If you don't want to use it, that's what I meant. But I use Army of Death Valley. I use the Creepify Borrowed Time. It's quite useful because every time when I when I do the curse, and with the borrowed time rune, it does reduce the cooldown reduction as well. So that's pretty cool. Do you need bone armor? You don't necessarily need it, but it helps you to push to complete the dungeon faster later on. But you don't need it. But it gives you a little bit of protection if you need that. Definitely recommend the Brand Z rune for the command skeleton, because it will increase the attack speed. And going by the set, the Rathma set bonus, the faster the skeletons hit, skeleton warrior hit, the better the damage reduction would be. You will need revive as a power, because that is how you revive all the corpse. You can pick any of the rune that you like. Horrify if you do the poison build. However, for me, I just use a personal army because it helped me to reduce damage taken, just to be a little bit safe side on the set dungeon side. Blood rush, you can do anything you like. You can even do the double charge to it. Doesn't really matter to it. From the passive setup perspective, if you don't have the generator, like this one, I don't have any generator, you start reaping, because every time the enemy die, you gain essence as well. So that's pretty cool. You don't necessarily need any of these, or whatsoever. It helps you just to complete the dungeon. Final service is of course on the safe side, because once the character dies in the set dungeon game over. So that's it. I don't see there are any other thing that you need to pay attention to. Is just play as per normal. Just remember one thing: before you achieve the objective 1 and 2, which is to achieve the number of cooldown reduction and the revived X number of corpse, just don't pop the Army of the Dead towards all the enemy. You need all the trash mob to help you with the cooldown reduction, as well as to so just remember that and you'll be fine. All right, best of luck. Let me know in the comment box below if there are any other question. And next bit of it is the actual dungeon run. See ya.
Give it more time.
We need a sacrifice.
That needs to recharge.
His spirit will join the others.
I'm afraid not.
Decay and rot.
I must wait. No. I must wait.
Weakness consumes you.
That is not possible.
Serve the cycle.
I'm afraid not. I must wait.
You will make a fine corpse.
I must wait. Give it more time. to recharge.